Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamerspro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. As you guys know, the Lakers just lost Game 3 on their home floor. A game that, I'm not going to lie, man, I was laughing my ass off all the way at the end of that game, and even the live that we did, I was cracking up. I was cracking up. But as the game was going on, I could see that the media and some people were trying to figure out, well, who's the scapegoat going to be at this game? Because there must always be a scapegoat. There must always be someone to blame at the very, very end of things. So what happened? I'm watching the game and I'm looking at D'Angelo Russell miss shot after shot after shot after shot. And then I posted on the community section last night. I said D'Angelo Russell is going to get deep fried. He's going to get barbecued tomorrow. And as a matter of fact, as I'm looking at the box score, D'Angelo Russell finished that game with 0 points, 0%, 0 for 7 shooting, 0 of 6 from the three. He did have 2 rebounds and 2 assists, 1 block, and 1 steal. So he had a horrible game. And then it reminded me of an exchange that took place on television yesterday. On the show, First Things First, with Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, and Kevin Wiles. And we're going to get into Nick Wright a little bit later today. But during their show, they were discussing what are the reasons the Lakers have gone down 0-2 to the Denver Nuggets, right? And in the midst of all of that, Nick Wright was looking for who to scapegoat. And I think yesterday he was trying to scapegoat Darvin Ham. And Chris Broussard, while listening to him, began to get a little bit upset with Nick Wright because it seemed like he got tired of this constant excuse making by Nick Wright in the media. And yesterday he called him out on it for essentially always making excuses for LeBron-led teams whenever they fail. So what we want to do is want to play exactly what Chris Broussard had to say yesterday to Nick Wright on television, and then want to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to Chris Broussard here.
Do I think people are hesitant to that because they think it's like protecting LeBron? Yeah, that's what I think.
But he's getting criticized.
Yeah.
Ham is on the hot seat.
So you agree he's on the hot seat?
I'm not saying he should be, but he's being scapegoated.
So, but is it a scapegoat if you're the problem?
Was he a bad coach when they won the in-season tournament? Was he a bad coach when they were up 20?
So this is my point. You see what I'm saying? Now does what I was saying make more sense?
Well, yeah, but I got confused about the Vogel stuff because you're saying Vogel was a mediocre coach, but LeBron and AD's greatness were able to overcome it. Mm-hmm. Now, Darvin Ham's a mediocre coach, but
might be worse.
Might be worse, and they're not able to overcome it.
Yeah, they're older and it's a harder opponent.
LeBron is an awesome, obviously, player. When he wins, it's LeBron's credit. When he doesn't, his teammates and his coaches get blamed. We have seen that time and time again.
Except I guess
every stop.
So, but that's not.
Spoelstra was being criticized
so that's
when he was in Miami.
So I disagree with that. Spoelstra, LeBron, his first year there, LeBron and Wade went to Riley and complained about Spoelstra, and then Riley said no, and now Spoelstra is universally recognized as a great coach.
But he wasn't then.
In the moment, like I think by the end of the run,
was he doing something wrong?
He wasn't. Spoelstra wasn't scapegoated for them losing the fourth finals. No, he wasn't.
No, I'm talking about the first year. They wanted. Spoelstra was getting criticized. Was he not a good? Now, obviously, he's a better coach.
Better coach now.
But my point is this. All right. Michael Malone is a great coach.
Yes.
He's up there with Spoelstra.
I agree.
So you heard the exchange between Chris Broussard and Nick Wright. Listen, Chris Broussard is saying exactly what Charles Barkley just said just about 2 days ago, where he was like, whenever the Lakers lose, they're always going to blame somebody for the loss. Listen to me. Yesterday's game, I'm putting it at the feet of LeBron James. And the reason I'm putting it at the feet of LeBron James is because some of you people run around talking about he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT. Do you see how well he's playing? Some of y'all are saying he should be an all-NBA first-team player. At the very least, an all-NBA second-team player. So if it's an all-NBA team player, the GOAT, and all of that stuff, then you got to deliver. There were times during that game yesterday where LeBron James just totally disconnected. He just disengaged. He was passive. He was passing the ball. He wasn't even engaged in the game. And then it was towards the end of the game when he looked at, like, okay, we're not going to catch them. So now time for me to start stat padding and to make my stats look good, to make it look like I did something in that game, when in reality, LeBron did nothing in that game. If I look at the third quarter of that game, which was really the critical quarter, in the third quarter, LeBron took 2 shots. 2 shots, and he scored 2 points. The Lakers scored 22 points, and that's when the Denver Nuggets scored 34. What was the score going into halftime? In halftime, it was 63 Denver, 52 Lakers. If I'm looking at the point, yeah, 63 Denver, 52 Lakers. So in the third quarter, when it was time for you to really engage, that's the quarter LeBron just totally disengaged. And then in the fourth quarter, when the Denver Nuggets were already up big, that's when he now started scoring his late shots. He scored 10 points in the fourth quarter when nobody was really playing any defense, right? So to me, I'm not going to put it on D'Lo because D'Lo's a role player. What the hell did you guys expect? Just the game before, he had, 20-something points, and they still lost. Are we going to put this series on D'Lo? That's what they're doing. I'm seeing footage of them showing D'Lo, I think, on the bench eating or, I don't know, filing his fingernails. Who the hell knows what the hell he was doing? And they're trying to turn that into the narrative. And it seems like Chris Broussard is finally caught on. But what is surprising me is that he's now beginning to say this on live TV. Usually he will say it on The Odd Couple with himself and Rob Parker. But now it seems like he's getting to the point where he's like, no. This thing needs to be said on national airwaves. And somebody needs to say it. Damn it. Somebody needs to say it. Nick Wright ain't going to hold LeBron James accountable. Nick Wright never does. Nick Wright never, ever does. He's part of the group of people that always find a way to blame others for the shortcomings of the Lakers and LeBron James. That's what he does. That is essentially what it does. So to me, it was refreshing to see Chris Broussard do that. And I hope he continues to do that because there are not enough people on television doing it. If there were a lot of people on TV doing it, I'd say, okay, no need to pile on. Today, I want us to focus on our good friend at FS1, Nick Wright, right? I want us to focus on Nick Wright. Some people out there have said that Nick Wright is a sports savant, because of the way he speaks so eloquently. He has a huge vocabulary. He has a big beard. He wears a suit. So therefore, everything that comes out of his mouth must be correct. And the way he seems to intellectualize some of his ridiculous takes, some people actually buy into his madness. Now, right before the play-in tournament started, I was amongst a group of people saying that the Lakers should consider finding a way to play the Oklahoma City Thunder in round 1. Because I said, well, if we know that the Nuggets are the biggest threats to the Lakers, wouldn't that mean that they have the highest probability of knocking out the Lakers? But that didn't seem to make sense to people. Some people said, okay, the Nuggets are the team that have the best chance to beat the Lakers, so therefore, we want to face them first. And I'm like, if you're playing the game of probability, why would you want to face the team that gives you the greatest odds of losing? And they're like, no, because we didn't reason it properly. Some people got into this thing, oh, we're not going to lose, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. And there were some people out there in the media that were actually advocating for the Lakers to actually play the Nuggets first. And one of those people was who? Nick Wright. Nick Wright was amongst the group of people that said he felt that the Lakers not only should want to play the Nuggets, but he said that if they played the Nuggets, he picked the Nuggets to beat the Lakers in 6 basketball games. 6. And we were all looking at Nick Wright like, bro, whatever you smoking, we need to know what it is. And Nick Wright was dead serious. Some people are like, yes, I can see it. After Nick's sound analysis, I think he makes perfect sense. I mean, look at his beard. Look at his suit. How can this man be wrong? But of course he was wrong. Because as we sit here right now, the Lakers are in a 0-3 deficit. After y'all man Nick Wright guaranteed that the Nuggets were gonna lose to the Lakers. So what we want to do is, I want to quickly play what Nick Wright had to say after before the series started I want to play what he had to say before the series started, and then we're going to continue on the show. Take a listen to your man Nick right here.
Any chance the Lakers can beat Denver?
All right, well, I'm in a spot here because when we gave our official predictions, we were conference finals and then finals,
right.
We don't know what the bracket's going to be. Right. So I had Denver over Lakers in the conference finals. Now, through no fault of my own, that's an impossibility. So I'm obligated to adjust. Right.
So Denver in the first round.
Well, so that's what you would think, right?
Don't do this.
But
you've been so good with the Chief stuff.
So listen, Wilds, what did you say right at the top of the show? I was up all night. So that Spaces I was on ended at 1:35 a.m. Eastern.
Yes.
And I used the next 6 hours before my daughter got awake to really grind the tape.
Okay.
Because here's the deal.
Wait.
I want to see if there is a reason, because obviously I would like the Lakers to win. I like LeBron. Is there a reason to believe they can? Reason to believe they would? So I went through my checklist of things. All right, when they most recently played, was there an aberrant shooting performance in the modern NBA that can change anything? And I text Josh middle of the night. I'm like, hey, how did the Nuggets shoot in that series compared to every other series or everything? The whole series. And I'm like, oh. So that's the best by any team against a LeBron team in a decade. All right, so that's a note. Like, okay, I'll mark that down. All right, what about how did either team have a key player play the best of his life? And did either team have a key player play the worst of his life? I'm like, okay, Josh, can you check that for me?
I'm stunned.
With the first pick, the first redo pick, since we all put our official picks in a week ago, Nick Wright has selected
Wow.
the Los Angeles
six,
Lakers.
not even 7.
In six.
I guess they got to
With
win
two
at home.
exclamation points.
Exactly right. Lakers in 6.
So you heard what Nick Wright had to say before the series. So then what happened? The Lakers go out there, they go to Denver, they get a 14, 15-point lead on the road, and Denver comes back and beats them. And Nick gets back on television the very next day with that same smug look on his face and says, folks, there's absolutely nothing to be worried about. So what we want to do is want to quickly play what Nick Wright had to say after game 1. Take a listen to Nick right here.
But despite all that, no, the series is not over. And in fact, even if the Lakers lose tonight, this series hasn't even started yet, according to some of the wisest minds ever, which is the series does not start.
Some series
never start. It's crazy. They're like playing games. They happen, but they don't show up in the history books. They never happen. So no, Brew, this series is not over, and this guy's going to overreact. You are the NBA's conscience.
That's true.
I'm going to trust that you're going to be level-headed with.
So you heard what Nick had to say after game 1. After the Lakers lost that game, get this, they go into game 2 and they go up 20 points. They end up blowing a 20-point lead, then end up losing at the buzzer. And then Nick Wright has the courage to come back on television the following day and says, what's all the hoopla about? The series hasn't even started yet. For those of you who didn't hear what Nick Wright had to say after game 2, want to quickly play that for you right here.
Nick, are you ready to admit this series is over?
Well, I mean, how can something end before it's even begun?
That's a fair point.
You know it's over.
They haven't started yet.
It hasn't even started.
Yeah, all right.
In fact, as it happens, these NBA playoffs haven't started. I don't know what it means for the ratings, but
Not good.
we're now 11-0 for home teams. So none of these
We're in the
series
Matrix or
are
something
yet
like
to
that,
start.
right?
So you heard what Nick Wright has been saying throughout this entire process. So Nick told Wiles that you're not as good in math as I am. Well, Nicholas, it's a best of 7 series. The Nuggets have won the first 3 games, which means that what? There are potentially 4 more games left. So in order for Nick Wright to be correct and the Lakers winning in 6, well, that can't happen anymore. So this means that the Lakers must win in 7. So what would need to happen for the Lakers to win in 7? Well, the Lakers need to do something that they have been incapable of doing for years, which is beat the Denver Nuggets in consecutive games. As we currently speak, the Lakers have lost 11 straight games to the Nuggets. So what we're now meant to believe is the Lakers need to win 4 straight games to beat the Nuggets. Folks, it's over. It's over. I was one of the people that thought this series was going to go 5. Folks, it's over. It's over. The Nuggets body slammed the Lakers in game 3. They absolutely brutalized them on their home court. I actually, even when the Lakers went up in the first, I was like, nah, they're not going to win this game. And I think the Lakers knew. They knew. I mean, it's over. Nick Wright, we would love to hear your sound analysis today. Please wear your best suit, because that's the only thing that can save you. This is an interesting one. This morning, or this afternoon, because I went to bed super late, went to bed like around 7 a.m. This afternoon, I was listening to the post-game interview from Nikola Jokic, speaking to the press yesterday. And he was speaking to them, and towards the tail end of what he was saying, he then says something which truly cracked me up. And he said the following line, which I thought was just hilarious in a bar at the same time. The man goes, he says, winning, it's a lifestyle for us. I was like, who says that? He's like, it's a lifestyle. We just be winning. We just be winning. I thought that was hilarious. So I posted that, and then somebody left a comment on the comment section about something that totally eluded me. And the person said, it all started when LeBron disrespected Nikola, choosing him dead last in the All-Star draft. And I said to myself, oh, wait a minute now. I had to go back and search because I remember it happening. I just didn't remember the year. So I went back and I searched for the video. And it turns out it was during the 2023 All-Star game when they had team captains. And you had the starters, and then you had the reserves. And it was Giannis and LeBron. And they were picking, and they were picking, and they were picking, and they were picking. And it came down to the last pick in the All-Star draft. And LeBron James selected Nikola Jokic as the last player in the All-Star draft. And I said to myself, bingo. So what we want to do is we want to play the blatant disrespect from LeBron James in the 2023 All-Star draft towards the best player in the world, Nikola Jokic. Take a listen to that.
With my third pick, I'm going to go with Luka Doncic.
He is the league's leading scorer. Got 10 triple-doubles, including a 60-point triple-double against the New York Knicks. Giannis.
I got him right where I want him. I got him. So, this is my third pick?
Yes.
Okay. With my third pick, I'm going with Mr. 71, Donovan Mitchell.
Number 9 scorer in the league, and those 71 came against the Chicago Bulls. In fact, it was 71 and 10 assists in that game. There were just 2 starters left up here. LeBron.
I mean, they already know. With my last pick, I'm going with Mr. Triple Double himself right here. Nikola Jokic. Yes, the Joker.
And Lowry marketed.
So you heard that. We did a reel on our IG page. Again, if you're not following us on our Instagram page, our handle is Dreamerspro, the same name as the channel. And also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my handle is CTABANZ. We did a reel a while back, a few months ago, about Nikola Jokic. And I said that, listen, the disrespect of these guys picking this guy as the last player in the All-Star draft was absolutely disgusting. Think about this. There was an NBA draft that Nikola Jokic got picked last in. We're looking at everybody in the NBA. He is better than all of these dudes. And they picked him last. Nikola Jokic seems like a person that doesn't talk much. But trust me, he was disrespected. I'm sure he felt disrespected. He gonna play it off like, it didn't really matter much. But he felt disrespected. As a matter of fact, the Denver Nuggets are a team that feel absolutely disrespected by the media. Do you guys realize that Jamal Murray has never made an All-Star game? Jamal Murray, and I heard the statistic yesterday, listen to Grant Hill in the game, has the highest playoff scoring increase in the history of basketball. His regular season, postseason scoring differential is 7.5 points per game. That is the highest in NBA history. He's never been an All-Star. Nikola Jokic gets picked last in the All-Star draft. Yes, last year they used a campaign to cost him winning his third regular season MVP. Mike Malone is going off, making fun of people in the media and all of that stuff because of the disrespect that he feels that the Nuggets were getting from the media after beating the Lakers. So he goes around and starts trolling. The Denver Nuggets, I personally believe, are a team that feels disrespected by the media. Absolutely disrespected. But for LeBron to pick this dude as the last dude in the All-Star draft, and he is now responsible for the dude that is probably going to hand you 8 straight playoff losses and 12 straight losses to that guy, that's the karma. They was laughing and kikiing it up. Oh, it was funny. It was funny, wasn't it? These guys picked the reigning MVP. Think about that. He was the reigning MVP of the league. They picked him last. Dead last. There is no basketball explanation for that. None whatsoever. There is no explanation for the best player in the world to be picked dead last. None. None whatsoever. None. A year later, look what he's doing. The Denver Nuggets are a team that feels disrespected, and they're motivated to wipe the floor with the Lakers. I think that is something that is an underlying storyline that no one is really tapping into. I think that is playing a role in the way that listen, the Denver Nuggets yesterday, when they were trying to snatch the hearts out of the Lakers in that third quarter. They wanted to beat them. And not only did they want to beat them, they wanted to beat them down. That is the exact same thing that happened in Game 4. Last year, they didn't have to play that hard in Game 4. If they lost Game 4, they still up 3-1 to go back to Denver, and they were going to beat the Lakers in Denver. But they wanted to send a message. They wanted to make a point that we want to get these MFers up out of here in 4 games. And they are on the verge of sweeping the Lakers 2 years in a row. That's the karma for disrespecting the best player in the world. Yesterday, we just witnessed the Lakers lose again, blow another lead, and lose to the Denver Nuggets on their home court. And now, as we currently speak, the Lakers are on the verge of being swept. In Game 3, LeBron made some good plays. He also made some plays, that a lot of people are criticizing him for. In Game 3, not Game 2. In Game 3, I was watching that game. In that third quarter, LeBron James absolutely, totally disengaged. In the first half of that game, the Denver Nuggets were up 53. No, excuse me. 53. If I'm getting this right. To 49. 53 to 49. They were, the Lakers were up 53 to the Nuggets 49. And you're the Lakers, you know that this team has shown the ability to come back and beat you when you're down. You're on your home court. So if you mess around and lose this game, it's a wrap for the series. Because no team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit, 0-3 deficit. We get to the third quarter, and the Denver Nuggets score 34 points to the Lakers 22. Now, here's what's interesting in that third quarter. Are you guys aware that LeBron only attempted 2 shots in that third quarter? LeBron, I was watching him, he totally disengaged. He just started passing the ball. He started all of those showboat long three. LeBron is a front runner. LeBron only takes those type of shots when his team is up. When his team is down, you will never see those long threes and all. It will never happen. He totally disengaged in that game. Absolutely disengaged. He stopped shooting. And then when he realized that the thing was totally out of reach, he then comes into the fourth quarter and says to himself, you know what? Time for me to start stat padding. And he scores 10 points in the fourth quarter. That meant absolutely nothing. His 10 points meant as much as Austin Reeves' 10 points. Nothing in the fourth quarter. Not to mention the fact, and I need to point this out, that in that game, Aaron Gordon scored 29 points. Who was Aaron Gordon's man? Who was LeBron's man? Aaron Gordon. LeBron James was playing absolutely zero defense on Aaron Gordon. All he was doing was ball watching, and Aaron Gordon, time after time after time, kept on finding himself at the dunker spot behind the defense, back cuts, and LeBron kept on losing him time after time after time, spent most of the game ball watching. And Aaron Gordon finished with 29 points, get this, and 15 rebounds. 15 rebounds. LeBron wasn't even boxing out on him. And as a result, the Lakers end up losing the game. So what happens? We then do a live. We had some technical issues in the first one, but the second one we were able to get it right. And in the second live that we did, I began to say to the audience, and I'm going to say it now. If LeBron gets swept 2 years in a row, he is not a top 5 player to me. My top 5 consists of the following: Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Magic Johnson. That's my top 5. If LeBron gets swept in 2 consecutive years, he is going to be leaving my top 5, and he's probably going to be number 6 or something, or number 7. I got to figure it out. Now, some people say that is totally unfair. And to those people, I'll say, you guys are total idiots. Because we need to factor in losing, and we also need to add in context. Yesterday, I said that on the live, and one person said, that's unfair to do that because LeBron is 39 years old. Why don't we have these expectations of Michael Jordan at 39? The answer is very simple. At the age of 39, Michael Jordan was playing with the Washington Wizards. His teammates were Jahadi White, Christian Laettner, Juan Dixon, Tyronn Lue, Kwame Brown, Jerry Stackhouse, I think Rip Hamilton. Who on that roster that I just mentioned has anywhere near the talent of an Anthony Davis? Please let me know. Which of those players is a top 75 player? Not one of them. When were they saying in 2002 or whatever it was that Michael Jordan's team, the Washington Wizards, had an opportunity to compete in the Eastern Conference against the Pacers or the Sixers? He could be one of the. Nobody was saying that because he didn't have the talent around him. LeBron did. That's number 1. Number 2, give me the time in the history of basketball where one top 75 player and another top 75 player got swept in the first round in 2 consecutive years. When did that ever happen? That never happened to Kobe. That never happened to Duncan. That never happened to Jordan. That never happened to Shaq. That never happened to Magic Johnson. That never happened to any of these people. So if LeBron loses 2 consecutive years, you're out of my top 5 forever. I want you guys to think about something. LeBron, who some people call the GOAT, is on the verge of losing 8 straight playoff games. 8! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 straight playoff games. And you still get to stay in the GOAT conversation? You better get your ass up out of the GOAT, pack your bags, and go down to the bottom 5. If he gets swept, he's out of my top 5. If he at least manages to get 1 game, he stays in my top 5. This is just my top 5, not the world's top 5. It doesn't need to be your top 5. This is just my top 5. I cannot make excuses for that kind of disgusting, embarrassing losing. You don't get to be next to Kobe Bryant. Kobe never did that. As a matter of fact, Kobe beat the most 50-win teams than any player in the history of basketball in the playoffs. Kobe beat more 51 teams in the playoffs than Magic Johnson did in the 2 years that Magic Johnson ever did in his entire career. So Kobe don't get to be annexed to this nastiness. Jordan never did it. Never. Jordan has only lost 1 playoff series when he was playing with at least 1 All-Star. Let me repeat it once more. Michael Jordan has only lost 1 playoff series in his NBA career when he had at least 1 All-Star teammate. Just 1. LeBron is on the verge of getting swept in 2 consecutive series by the same team in back-to-back years while playing with a top 75 guy. And some people were even saying that the Lakers were good enough to come out of the West, that the only threat to them was the Denver. So you're telling me that the Lakers are the differential between the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets is basically 4-0? No, if he loses, he's out of my top 5 forever. Forever. Losing gotta count. This would be unprecedented. There's no other player in the top 5 that has that on their record like LeBron. Not Tim Duncan, not Shaq, not Kobe, not Kareem, not Jordan. You got to get your ass up out of here. He will go from number 4 to me to like maybe number 6 and number 7. I got to figure out who's like, because then if I'm looking at the list just off of the top of my head, I'm gonna go Jordan, I'm gonna go Kareem, I'm gonna go Kobe, I'm gonna probably put Magic Johnson at the 4. I'll probably put Shaq or Tim Duncan. I'll probably move them to the 5. LeBron probably gonna be 7, 6 or 7, and that's how we rocking out. You don't get to lose like that and stay in the top 5. It ain't no GOAT. Y'all need to stop. The GOAT convo is an ESPN sports invention. Even players today who need to be drug tested for that ridiculous poll, even they don't believe it. It's a debate made up of smoke and mirrors. The Shannon Sharpes, the Nick Wrights, these people that wanted to make, oh, look at what Jordan did in his Wizard years. Okay. Y'all want to talk about a 39-year-old Jordan? Let's bring in the conversation. The reason they were making fun of Jordan in this older period is because, well, look at how well LeBron is playing. Well, let's talk about it.